The movie opens with a significant life milestone for Yanik, our protagonist, who joyfully learns of his acceptance into film school. This celebration is shared with his girlfriend, marking the beginning of a new chapter in his life. In the days that follow, Yanik transitions to college life, settling into the rhythms of academia. One ordinary day, while immersed in a book outside a store, he observes a minor but deep incident. A young boy, in a fleeting act of mischief, snatches a chocolate from a little girl. Acting on instinctive decency, Yanik intervenes, retrieving the chocolate and restoring it to its rightful owner. The girl's mother emerges, expressing her gratitude for Yanik's simple yet meaningful act of kindness. Yanik's life takes an unexpected turn during a routine bike ride around the neighborhood, a pursuit of inspiration for his film projects. A sudden encounter with a black cat startles him, leading to a fall that renders his bike inoperable. Seeking assistance, he approaches a nearby house, unknowingly stepping into a world far removed from the ordinary. The homeowner, Jacqu, a taxi owner, is off duty but offers to call another taxi. While Jacqu steps away, Yanik, tending to his wounds, enters the house in search of water. Inside, Yanik is immediately struck by the religious symbolism that fills the house, hinting at Jacqu's profound spiritual devotion. This discovery paints a stark contrast to the simple exterior of the home. As he prepares to leave, a faint, desperate cry for help from upstairs piques Yanik's curiosity and concern. Stealthily, he makes his way upstairs, careful to avoid alerting Jacqu. The source of the cries leads Yanik to a harrowing scene. A man, wounded and in distress, lies on the floor. Panicked and seeking to escape the suddenly menacing environment, Yanik attempts to flee, only to be found by Jacqu. In a swift, startling confrontation, Jacqu confines Yanik to another room, revealing a sinister side. Yanik's efforts to escape are met with the grim realization that all windows are securely barred, trapping him in a situation far beyond anything he could have imagined in his newfound college life. The tension escalates as Jacqu, with a menacing manner, forcibly moves the injured man to a different room. Armed with a gun, he then confronts Yanik, leading him to the very room where the injured man had been moments before, and leaves him there, trapped and bewildered. The plot thickens when Jacqu's daughter, Michelle, enters the room. Yanik, seizing what he believes to be a chance at rescue, implores her to call the police. However, his hopes are swiftly dashed as he realizes that Michelle, far from being an ally, is complicit in her father's sinister activities. Yanik's desperate pleas to Jacqu for release, promising silence about the situation, fall on deaf ears. Jacqu coldly dismisses his pleas, unwilling to risk his secret being exposed. In a surreal twist, Jacqu invites Yanik to join them for dinner. It's here that Yanik encounters Maud, the woman he had helped earlier, whose daughter, Anne, he had saved from the young chocolate thief. This revelation brings a shocking realization. Maud is Jacqu's wife, deepening the complexity of his hardship. Yanik's attempt to flee this bizarre and threatening environment is crashed by locked doors. A violent altercation ensues between him and Jacqu, watched by Michelle with a disturbing sense of excitement. The conflict reaches a critical point as Jacqu starts to strangle Yanik, only to be stopped by Maud. She reminds Jacqu of a promise to avoid such violent acts in front of their children, momentarily halting the violence. Yanik is then forcibly returned to his room, while the family proceeds to have dinner. During dinner, Maud recounts to Jacqu how Yanik had previously helped Anne, portraying him as a good man. This revelation introduces an ironic twist, as we learn that Michelle, like Yanik, is a college student studying film, creating a peculiar connection between captor and captive. The following morning, Yanik overhears Maud praying through the wall. In a desperate plea, he begs her to free him, but she responds with a disheartening mix of faith and resignation, expressing her trust in Jacqu and her belief that he will find a solution. Maud's unwavering obedience to Jacqu, rooted in her religious convictions, adds another layer to the complex dynamics within the household, leaving Yanik to grapple with the harsh reality of his confinement. In a desperate bid for rescue, Yanik turns to his camera, recording a heartfelt plea for help and urging anyone who discovers the tape to alert the police. This moment of vulnerability underscores the gravity of his situation and his determination to find a way out. An opportunity arises when Jacqu allows Yanik to use the toilet. Seizing this brief window of freedom, Yanik cleverly uses the chance to throw the tape outside, hoping it will be his ticket to rescue. During a meal with the family, Yanik discovers a surprising facet of Jacque's personality. He is not only a menacing captor, but also a highly skilled chess player, renowned for his prowess in the game. The dynamics within the household shift as Yanik observes a chess match between Michelle and Jacques, where Jacques' superior skill is evident. In a tense moment, as Jacques is immersed in explaining chess strategies to Michelle, Yanik acts impulsively. He grabs a blunt knife and stabs Jacques, seizing the chaos as a chance to escape. Frantically searching for an exit, he rushes to Michelle's room, shatters her window, and leaps outside, driven by a desperate urge for freedom. However, the escape is short-lived. Michelle, emerging with a startling aggression, strikes Yanik's legs with a bat, relentlessly attacking him until Jacques, surprisingly unscathed by the knife, intervenes. Michelle, in her fury, urges Jacques to kill Yanik like the others. Jacques, angered by her recklessness, rebukes and grounds her instead. In a turn of events, Jacques tends to Yanik's wounds, a perplexing act of care amidst the hostility. During this uneasy truce, Yanik confronts Jacques about the number of people he has killed, referencing Michelle's earlier comments. Jacques justifies his actions with a twisted sense of righteousness, claiming his victims were deserving of their fate. His explanation that the last victim was a drug dealer to teenagers further reveals the biased morality guiding his actions. Yanik, horrified, denounces Jacques as delusional, only to be met with Jacques' anger and a swift exit. That night, the strained relationship between Jacques and Michelle is further exposed. Jacques criticizes her for forgetting his teachings and for her violent outburst against Yanik. Michelle expresses regret, claiming she didn't mean her words and acted out of anger during Yanik's escape attempt. She suggests that Jacques attend the chess club, offering to clean the mess, while Yanik, left alone, tries to distract himself by filming the room. Soon after, Jacques introduces a new disturbing element into the already tense atmosphere of the household. He brings an elderly man and a child to their home, and it's soon revealed that the man likes kids. In the next scene, Yanik engages in a heartfelt conversation with Maud. He empathetically tells her that neither she nor her daughter Anne deserve the life they are subjected to under Jacques. However, Maud, entrenched in her own perspective and experiences, reacts with anger. She rebukes Yanik, asserting that he cannot understand or judge the situation without knowing what Jacques has done for her. The narrative takes a hopeful turn when a young boy, innocently collecting items from the ground, discovers the tape Yanik had thrown from Jacques' yard. However, the boy, finding no use for it, carelessly discards it in a nearby park, a twist that deflates Yanik's hopes of being found. The movie then shifts to a critical moment for Jacques' family. Jacques reveals to Michelle his intention to test Maud's readiness to take over his weird mission, though he harbors doubts about her capability. This scene sets the stage for a chilling sequence of events. Jacques and Michelle stake out the house of the elderly man. Once the child leaves, Jacques confronts the man with brutal force, attacking him viciously. In a disturbing demonstration of his twisted morality, Jacques instructs Michelle to kill the man, handing her a knife. Michelle, confronted with the gravity of the act, finds herself unable to commit the act, stabbing the floor in a symbolic refusal. Jacques' frustration with her reluctance is palpable, and their argument is interrupted when the elderly man seizes the knife and stabs Jacques in the leg. Michelle reacts with a burst of anger, injuring the man's hand. Jacques, displeased with Michelle's actions, criticizes her for unnecessary brutality, emphasizing his twisted belief in a clean, painful blow. He then ends the man's life with an effortless, swift act, expressing disappointment in Michelle for not adhering to his standards. This sequence reveals the deep psychological manipulation and control Jacques exercises over his family, and his disappointment in Michelle underscores the warped values he has tried to instill in her. In the unfolding drama, a critical moment occurs when Maud inadvertently leaves Yanik's room unlocked. Seizing this rare opportunity, Yanik attempts a daring escape, only to suffer a painful fall down the stairs. Despite his determination, his escape is frustrated by Maud, who, in a desperate effort to stop him, resorts to striking him with a frying pan. This chaotic scene reaches a climax when Jacques and Michelle return, carrying a dead body. adding a morbid twist to the already tense situation. Jacqu forcefully takes Yanik back to his room, where Yanik, overwhelmed by despair, tearfully questions why he is being subjected to such cruel treatment. Jacqu exits the room, leaving Yanik in silence and solitude. That night, in a surprising turn of events, Jacqu presents Yanik with a peculiar challenge: beat him in a game of chess and earn his freedom. The next morning, Jacqu brings Michelle's chessboard to Yanik's room, setting the stage for their game. Jacqu assigns the colors. He is white, symbolizing what he perceives as the righteous army, while Yanik is black, representing the unrighteous army. As they play, Jacqu boasts of his undefeated record in chess, attributing his success to the righteousness of his actions. Yanik, skeptical of Jacque's claim, is nonetheless unable to overcome his skill. Jacqu wins effortlessly, reinforcing his dominance and control over the situation. During dinner, Jacqu makes a declaration to his family. He intends to spend every evening playing chess with Yanik, undisturbed. This becomes a routine, with Yanik consistently losing to Jacqu night after night. In a surreal twist, during one of their nightly chess games, Yanik's imagination vividly transforms the scene, envisioning a halo of bright light surrounding their intense match. However, the game concludes as usual with Yanik's defeat. While Jacqu steps away to the toilet, Anne, Jacque's daughter, innocently enters the room. Unaware of the gravity of her actions, she inadvertently adds rat poison to Jacque's coffee. When Jacqu returns and detects the poison, he erupts in fury. He accuses Yanik of remaining silent about the poisoned coffee, suggesting complicity. Jacqu then asserts that even if he were to die and Yanik were to escape, it would not equate to a victory for Yanik or a validation of his innocence. This interaction further illustrates Jacque's corrupt mentality and his insistence on imposing his own twisted sense of morality and justice. 5 weeks have passed since Yanik's disappearance, and in a surprising gesture of care, Jacqu assists him in removing the cast from his leg, an injury inflicted by Michelle. During this period, Yanik's proficiency in chess improves, yet he still falls short of defeating Jacqu, a testament to Jacque's unparalleled skill in the game. A significant revelation occurs when Maud discovers Jacque's alarming plan to send their daughter Anne to a mental institution, citing her mental health issues. It's then revealed that Jacque's own actions, specifically his abuse of Maud during her pregnancy, are to blame for Anne's condition. This realization ignites a fierce argument between Maud and Jacqu. Amidst this turmoil, Yanik sees an opportunity to attack Jacqu. However, his attempt backfires, and he is overpowered and beaten. This encounter triggers painful memories of Yanik's own past, specifically the abuse he suffered at the hands of his father. As time progresses into winter, a momentary lapse in awareness provides Yanik another chance at escape. With Jacqu and his family away on a shopping trip, Yanik manages to unlock his door and ventures into the living room. His attempts to escape are crashed by locked doors he cannot pick, leading him to the basement. There, he discovers a horrifying truth: the bodies of Jacque's victims, a grim testament to Jacque's twisted sense of justice. Desperate to escape, Yanik finds a way outside into a snowstorm. In a dramatic turn of events, Yanik encounters Jacque's car and, in a frantic bid to flee, falls into a freezing pond. Jacqu unexpectedly rescues Yanik from the icy waters, but then forcefully returns him to the house. Jacqu later reveals to Yanik the extent of his twisted mission. For nearly 15 years, he has been executing those he deems unrighteous, while also unearthing the graves of those he considers good to recruit them into his righteous army. Jacqu is obsessed with a delusional war he perceives as imminent between the righteous and the unrighteous, and is crafting chess pieces to symbolize this conflict. He shares with Yanik his disillusionment about his unborn son, whom he had hoped to indoctrinate with his principles. Jacqu believes his mission is nearing completion and had hoped for a righteous queen until Yanik's arrival disrupted his plans. In a chilling twist, Jacqu expresses his belief that Yanik is destined to continue his work, not Michelle. Yanik strongly rejects this idea, asserting he will never be swayed to join Jacque's twisted cause. The tension between Yanik and Jacqu escalates the next day during their chess game, which ends in a draw. When Yanik suggests another round, Jacqu declines, leading to a heated exchange. Yanik accuses Jacques of being afraid, which infuriates him. In a moment of intense confrontation, Jacques draws a shotgun on Yanik. The situation is defused only by Maud's intervention, who grabs Jacques' hand, redirecting his aim and saving Yanik. Retreating to his room, Yanik records a message, determined to defeat Jacques in their next game. The following day presents a dramatic turn of events. After Jacques leaves, Maud, driven by a sense of justice and perhaps remorse, releases Yanik. She proposes they flee together and take their case to court, believing that this will lead to Jacques' arrest. However, Yanik, consumed by the need to end Jacques' reign of terror on his own terms, refuses to leave, insisting on defeating Jacques at chess. Faced with the realization that she is alone in her fight, Maud submits to despair and tragically takes her own life. This act fulfills Jacques' twisted fantasy, as he now sees Maud as his white queen, completing his macabre chess set. Meanwhile, Anne, confined to a mental institution, seizes an opportunity to escape during a chaotic altercation. The tape Yanik had made earlier finally reaches Michelle's friend. Upon viewing the disturbing content, Michelle, shocked by the revelation and desperate to protect her family's secrets, kills her friend. In a grim setting, Jacques and Yanik engage in a surreal chess game amidst the dead bodies in the basement, with Yanik secretly recording the scene. The game is abruptly halted by the unexpected arrival of Anne, who is horrified upon discovering her mother's dead body. Overcome with emotion, she screams, prompting Jacques to shoot her. This act signifies Jacques' complete unraveling, and the game ends abruptly. The police soon arrive, arresting Jacques and taking Yanik to an ambulance. The movie then fast-forwards 4 months, leaving a chilling aftermath. Michelle remains at large, and Yanik, now deeply affected by his nightmare, is haunted by visions of Jacques. In these hallucinations, Yanik plays chess against Jacques, driven by a compulsive need to defeat him in order to find peace for his tormented mind. This final scene deeply underscores the lasting psychological impact of Yanik's harrowing experience. Did this story spook you out? Let us know in the comments below. For more horror movie recaps, subscribe to our channel and we will see you in the next one. Fear awaits you.